Hello everyone, Kulachi Hansraj Model School is back again with full swing. Ed Talk at KHMS. What do you mean by Ed Talk at KHMS? KHMS is Kulachi Hansraj Model School and Ed Talk is talk by the educators. Who are these educators? These are student leaders, future student leaders. And Kulachi believes in empowering the young minds with right skill sets. And right skill set of 21st century is first and foremost communication and collaboration. So we believe in communication and collaboration, and today here we are set with the Kulachi Global Club students, with the coordinator Miss Anita and the lead students who would be having an ed talk on peace. Over to Miss Anita.
Thank you, Rashmi. Yes, greetings to one and all present here, my dear students, and Rashmi, of course. Today we are here on the occasion of International Day of Peace, the day that was designated as Peace Day by UN. The idea was to have all the nations with non-violence and ceasefire. To what an extent are we non-violent, or we have ceasefire? That cannot be denied. This is the fact everybody knows. But this idea of peace, UN had adopted because peace is the hope of every nation, a promise of every politician, a goal of every prayer, and the pulse of every religious tradition and faith. And somehow I feel if there is no peace, then some destructive tendencies, anti-social, anti-national tendencies, they will very fast take us closer to the catastrophe. And then what do you think, that we would keep watching silently? No, I believe in human potential. I believe that we, the humans, can create a world at peace where we all become non-violent. So, my dear students, here I want to know from you. Please share your perception, your notion, your understanding of this five-lettered word, peace. What does peace mean to you? I would invite, first of all, Athar Chauhan to express his views. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. According to me, peace is something where there is no war. Everybody lives in harmony, help each other. Even if we work in a team, if we have peace around, we will do work in much faster and a better way than any other team would do. In a peace, people do things properly and everything comes together in a proper place. Thank you.
Yes, very well said. That peace means harmony. Yes, this is what somebody has said. If we have to create a world to live in, then there has to be harmony. Just 2 days before, we were talking about harmony in nature. If there is harmony in nature, I am waiting for the harmony among the. Yes, Vijayata, start please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I am Vijeta Panjwani. Greetings, everyone. So, I believe that peace is a beautiful flower that blossoms in all hearts after the entire heated, troubled situations. And anything that comes after such a struggle is a precious responsibility that we all behold. So, for me, peace is a responsibility that if we have suffered the wrong, it is our responsibility to ensure good for the future and for ourselves, obviously. So, that is the responsibility peace carries. And peace for me is a big responsibility.
Yes, Vijayata is conveying to all of you that peace is a responsibility. Let us take up this responsibility and work for this. Good, Vijayata. Yes, Jasmine, what do you want to say?
Right. Greetings to one and all present here.
The technology is not letting
I
us be at
yeah.
peace.
I think Jasmine has some problem till she recovers. Let us go to the next speaker. Yes, Siddharth, start please.
So for me, peace is a state of non-suffering and also a way of celebration of life. In what I have learned, there are two types of peace. Obviously, we have conflicts in religions due to creed and all of that, and we have to resolve that on a global level. So, to avoid the fear of violence and to propagate harmony amongst all, uh, we talk about peace. But on the other hand, I also think of a personal peace, inner self peace, that I have found out in recent years, which also is the main reason of how we behave amongst others. So, for example, that I may have a conflict with one of my friends or one of my classmates. So, what my mindset says that if I could resolve that problem in a much more harmonious way, rather than taking some physical step because my mind is all heated up, so that is also a form of peace, which I think should also be there, apart from the one that is on the global level. Thank you.
Very well said, Siddharth. Siddharth indirectly denounces violence. Yes, we should not support violence. If we are against violence, peace is but natural. Yes, we will get back to Jasmine again. Jasmine lost connection for a while. Yes, Jasmine, are you able to?
Yes, ma'am. I did lose connection. So what I was saying is that peace in the conventional sense means absence of war or conflicts or heated debates and discussion. But personally, for me, peace is an internal state wherein I can achieve some sort of an harmony within myself and consensus with my real self. It's basically accentuating positive life experiences for myself and for others around me. Peace is an internal state of equilibrium. Thank you.
Yes.
Anita, I
Just
truly agree with Jasmine's, reflection on peace, because as a child, if at this age they are able to understand the fact that peace begins with self, if a person is patient, self contented, and is happy with what he or she is having, the child at this age can establish a harmonious connection with the frequencies of the universe. And that's the ultimate aim. We have to give back to the society. And when we are not at peace, we would not be able to achieve that. Nice reflection, Jasmine. That's so wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am.
now let's invite Aditya. Aditya, carry on, please.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I think peace will exist in a place where people know their duties, where they are satisfied in what they have so that they don't have to fight for it. I think peace will prosper in a place where love, harmony, and tolerance abound, and there is no curse, and there is no place for the curse of greed. I think peace will abound this earth when people understand their duties. Yeah, I think that's all.
Yes, ultimately, what I feel duties, responsibilities, inner self, you see that all these lead us to have peace. Yes, Ankit, what would you like to say?
Thank you, ma'am. Greetings to one and all. I am Ankit Jha, a student of Kulachi Hansraj Model School. What I think peace is that it is not just a condition or situation, but a mindset, a positive mindset. The Whenever someone hears the about peace, it has a positive connotation on him or her. When people are satisfied with what they have, or when they are in harmony within themselves, personal peace is attained. And it is very true that if it is achieved by each and every person, the society will be peaceful. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes, Karthik, would you say something?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Greetings to one and all. I'm Karthik. And whenever I hear the word peace, the first word that comes to my mind is happiness, joy. I mean, to someone just listening to music and getting lost in the lyrics can be peace for them. I think that peace directly correlates to happiness, and that hits me the most because I believe that if we are happy with ourselves, then we are able to adapt to a healthier lifestyle. We are able to listen to others also very effectively, and that results in the other person also being happy. As they say, positivity breeds positivity. I think if one person himself takes the initiative, I think everyone can become happy. And in my opinion, that's what you call peace. That when everyone is happy with themselves, with each other, as they say it, as Jasmine Didi said, that it's more of an internal feeling. But as we keep feeling that way, if everyone is happy with themselves and with others, that internal feeling also becomes external. So in that way, I think that this way, everyone can experience what being peaceful is like. Thank you.
Yes, very good, Karthik. So let's be happy and make others happy, right? When the world is happy, then peace is certainly there. Yes, Lara, please say something.
So, what I think is that the idea of peace is a universal belief. We do not need to belong to a religion, a community, or a nation to propagate the message of peace. So, in one way or another, peace unites us. For me, peace is unity. All the individuals are binded by this very thought. They can connect with others, at the same time, connect with themselves.
Yes, so Lara has added something else to peace, that peace means unity. Unity also leads to peace, right? Yes, Shreya.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Greetings, everyone. So, peace for me is positivity, is finding happiness in others' happiness, and eradicating the thoughts of jealousness, revenge, vengeance inside from us. I think peace can be established when there will be no need of hurting somebody, whether from a nuclear bomb to our words. Then the peace will surely be established.
Yes, definitely. Shreya has given us an action, right? That first we have to eliminate all the negativity. If negativity is eliminated, positivity would definitely be in, and there would be in peace, right? We welcome Aradhya also. Aradhya has just joined. Aradhya, this is for you, that we are discussing your notion, your perception of peace, right? I'll just come to you. Now I would invite Sukanya. Will you?
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, greetings, everyone. This is Sukanya Ramachandran. And peace. Well, peace, it's a very small word, but it means so much more than that. Peace can mean anything to anyone. It could be a version what you feel your afterlife to be. It could be joy. It could be the simple pleasure of watching a small child eat a lollipop. It is just so vast. But again, peace, I feel that peace depends on where you are and what you are doing. It can be achieved anywhere and anytime, but you have to have this feeling to inculcate that small feeling of happiness, and because of that, peace can be achieved. As we all know that right now we all are just sitting at home. For me right now, peace means just talking and laughing and chatting with my family, spending time together, thinking about the time when I used to go to school and meet everyone. And again, that is peace. I feel that when I grow up, peace would totally be vast to me. Yeah, I'll feel that peace. I can achieve peace by spreading happiness to people, by sharing my viewpoints and make them aware of peace. Because everyone feels happy or feels this way about things, but they don't tend to know that this is peace. So again, we just have to make people understand of it. And that is my meaning of peace. Thank you so much.
Well said. So it means that peace is a feeling in itself, isn't it? A benign feeling, which you automatically get when the people are making you happy and when you make others happy, right? Yes, Samriddhi, what is your notion?
Yes, ma'am. For me, I think peace is just the absence of fear and to just to respect the feelings of other person, to respect what the other people think, and treat it equally, so that there would be no violence in the society, and also that the society would not be divided on the basis of one's willings, and also to spread happiness in the society, so that everyone could live together within the same society, and just a happy and peaceful society would be created.
Yes, that's very good, Samriddhi. We should learn to accommodate each other. This is what I feel. That would give us an environment of togetherness. Yes, now Aradhya, I'm coming to you. So please express your idea of peace, child.
Okay, ma'am. Peace for me is not just sitting around and talking to each other or communal harmony. Peace is something that comes from deep within. You can't just, if you don't like a person, it's not like you can just straight away say to that face, right? The best way you can show your peaceful notion is by talking to them, or at least being tolerable enough to not sound rude. For me, peace can be brought by literally just talking to each other about what their problem they have. You can, if you ignore your problems or if you don't share your problems, there is very less percent of chance that it can be solved in a very calm and peaceful manner.
Yes, well presented, Aradhya, you too. So Rashmi, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I was listening to each one of you, and as a teacher, when I listen to these thoughts of children of age group 12 to 16, it really is bringing goosebumps. You know why? The reason is, as a person, as a maths teacher, because I love mathematics, so if I try to analyze this mathematically, so I find that if a person is able to apply the rule of integers in life, all of you know about integers. You have plus and you have minus numbers. So you know that plus 3 gives you plus 6. And you know that plus 3 minus 3 will give you 0. And if you begin with a negative number, say for example minus 3, and then again you do minus 3, you will never reach to a positive number. You will be going to minus 6. So as you rightly said, we have to try to acquire the skill of balancing, and basically we have to try to first nullify the negativity. So whenever you start, at least you may start from a 0. That can be a good start, but never start with a negative number. So when you start with a negative number, what you have to do is first you have to consume your positive to nullify that. So for nullifying minus 3, you have to consume your plus 3. So basically, if we really wish to kill the negativity, we have to be having so much of positivity to have that peaceful surroundings all across the world. That's the global aim also. So as children, I really appreciate each one of you. And Anita ma'am, you have chosen a very nice topic today, and which is the need of the hour also. So try to acquire the skill of creating a balance between mind and heart by using the rule of integers in life. That is from a mathematics teacher. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rashmi. The topic, why this topic has been chosen, because at times, children, as I had been sharing with you, I really feel aghast when the people ridicule at this idea of peace and non-violence. So many times in the family, in the group of friends, honestly speaking, I am on the verge of losing cool when the people they just make a fun that, oh, you are talking about non-violence, peace in this at this time. But when I listen to you, I feel that they are all wrong. So I really get a feeling of being supported by you, honestly speaking. Okay, so let us start with this idea only. What do you think? Is it relevant to talk about peace in the present scenario? Not because of COVID-19, but otherwise, just look at the world in one or the other corner. How there are the wars going on, wars of words, wars of weapons, and whatnot, wars of ideologies. So, in this scenario, do you think is it right, is it relevant, or is it possible to have peace? Yes, children. Who would start this discussion first?
May I, ma'am?
I think yes, Akash,
So,
please carry
so according to me, talking about peace is relevant because if we take the scale of peace and inculcate it in ourselves and apply it in our original life, then things will go in a proper way, and people will just do fulfill their responsibility properly. And in also Hindu mythology, people say if you achieve the peace of mind, then you won't suffer that much as people suffer in their downwards conditions.
Yes, right. Anybody else?
Okay.
Yes, Vijayata? Yes, Vijayata?
So I believe that the talk of peace and the talk of harmony will always and always be relevant. It has been relevant since forever, and forever it is going to be relevant because, after all, as Rashmi ma'am said a few minutes ago, the aim is to give back to society. The aim is to work for the place where we are born, the place where we are living and surviving. And if we need to work, we have to struggle, and for that struggle we have to be at peace with ourselves, with the environment, with the community. So always, if we are trying to develop as a modern world, the basic necessity is peace and harmony. So that is why peace will always be relevant. If you want to work, if you want to climb the stairs of development, your footwear always has to be peace.
Yes, absolutely right, Vijayata. Agreed with you. Yes, who will express next?
Can I, ma'am?
Yes, sure.
Ma'am, I would like to quote Rashmi ma'am again that -3 is -6. So it gives us with another important principle that if we try to treat negative with negative, we can never ever get a positive impact. So these days we see people waging wars against wars. So they think that they have become supreme over all others, but in actual life, they are just promoting violence. They are just making the future of the youth worse than before. So I think that this quest for supremacy, this ultimate quest, will lead to nothing but only but bloodshed. But if we really want to be supreme, we should start from the bottom, that is zero. We have to be nothing to become everything. We have to be satisfied in what we have, and that's how we can attain supremacy. Thank you.
Wonderfully
Very good.
explained, Aditya. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Yes. Who next? Who is next?
Can I speak?
Yes, Lara, definitely.
Okay, so I think in today's lifestyle, empathy is something which you cannot find in every individual. Also, we have become so materialistic. All we have to run is about ambitions, and we are in this rat race, recklessness of ambitions, and we are not really understanding that peace is something which is extremely necessary right now. So I have also read this beautiful poem that is Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda explains this fact that how important it is to stay quiet, to stay calm in this hectic pace of life. So you can understand your own self, you can do some introspection, you can understand what you have lost, what you have achieved. And it is impossible. See, to inculcate the idea of peace is impossible. It is possible, nothing is impossible. And what about wars? Victory with no survivors is what we want. Who would you want to rule on even after you win after this, in a war?
Amazing expression, Lara. Amazing.
Nothing is impossible. This is what we have to remember. Yes. Next.
Can I say something?
Yes, Ankit.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in my opinion, peace is the ideal state, and we all know that anything that is ideal is the best. When peace prevails in the society, everything works in a proper way. But sometimes some people, just for the quest of power and money, sow the seed of rivalry and hatred in the heads of the people. They are doing nothing but defiling uh, the value of humanity. And whenever the peace is disturbed, everything goes haywire. Peace is necessary for the people to flourish in their fields, and the importance of peace can never be denied. And it can be seen in the fact that since when the number of wars have declined, the rate of development has increased many folds. So this is a proof that proves that how peace is important for us. Thank you.
That's really wonderful. Yes, Jasmine.
Right. So when ma'am had asked us the question, is peace relevant today, given the circumstances that we are facing, not limited to 2020 and the pandemic, but even with global issues such as poverty, hunger, malnutrition, and whatnot. Looking at these issues, I personally feel that such issues will continue to prevail if we neglect peace above all. Definitely, there are so many issues that need to be considered. People are not being able to make ends meet. They are not having 2 square meals a day, and there are so many struggles that each one of us is facing. Not limited to such vast struggles. Each one of us as individuals, be it the teachers or the students, right now we are facing so many problems. The daily stresses, the hassles of life, the causes and consequences that we are not able to evaluate because we do not have that time out, that personal me time for ourselves today in this busy, fast paced life. Is this not a significant struggle that needs to be highlighted at a war footing? The struggles that a common man faces, are they not worthwhile to be expressed and to be addressed by the general public? So I believe that free expression, undeterred, uncurbed expression of the struggles that people face in a positive, accentuating environment is which will stimulate peace. Therefore, despite the environment, despite the kind of global issues that the world continues to face, we cannot neglect peace, because that is the primary first motive that we need to address in order to address all the other global issues prevalent. Thank you.
Very true, Jasmine. There is no point to neglect, isn't it? Acceptance is the way. Acceptance, you accept and then you try to overcome the issues. That is the way. Absolutely. Yes. Next. Who is coming next?
Yeah, can
Yes,
I go now?
yes, Sukanya.
Yeah, thank you so much. So again, as it was mentioned in the starting of the conference, that without peace, the destructive tendencies of our species will continue to inch us closer to catastrophe. So, see, in our religion and our mythology, it is said that if this happens, this destructive tendency are in this a person or something, we cannot attain the freedom and liberation of our soul, which is also called as moksha. We would not be able to attain it. So peace is basically, I feel that again, it's a natural state of our society, and violence is an unnatural state. So if we have a positive mental attitude and we think that peace is positive, and with peace our soul can get closer to attain moksha and such and attain such forms, I feel that that is how a person can understand the importance of peace. Not only that, every religion, I am sure every religion has the ideas of peace, some in some form or the other. So it is taught us that we have to inculcate peace because of these small things that are which can help us, and not only us, our souls and the others. So,
Absolutely right, Sukanya. What you said, peace is natural and violence is unnatural. Peace is natural because you feel, you want, and violence is unnatural because you are provoked for violence. There are external forces that compel you, that provoke you for violence. So very well defined it that peace is natural and violence unnatural.
Anita, please unmute your microphone.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes. So the next, who would like to say something about the relevance of peace?
I would.
Yes, yes, Shreya.
Ma'am, as Sukanya said, I would like to add that we shouldn't be influenced by what others say. It is mostly what we see, like particular example of the Ram Mandir and the Masjid topic. It's and of free thoughts. Maybe they will be different from others, but they shouldn't be in the favor of the wrong. We should have to think that what is right and what is wrong. So we should know that difference, and that difference would help in establishing peace.
Yes. Now, anybody else? Anybody else would talk about it?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, yes, definitely, Aradhya.
Yes. Ma'am, for me, ma'am, I want to bring focus back on the human being and their day-to-day life struggles. As human beings, we are stuck in a complete cycle of marathon that is starting when we wake up and the time when we fall asleep. There's no time for there's no time for talking to yourself, sitting there, and at least attaining some self peace. Now, self peace is something that when you are content, and when self peace is not there, there's quite it's almost impossible to spread the word peace. In relevance of today's life, we are still stuck in that cycle. So it's time that we break free. At least take time out for ourselves first, and then our family, and that in one way will help us attain the peace we are looking for.
Yes, Rashmi, would you like to say something?
Anita, I totally agree with Aradhya in this particular point, because as a human being, first readiness is important. Are you ready to attain that peace? And for that, conscious efforts have to be done. Because Aradhya mentioned a very right point that we neglect certain things which are essential for our life because we are following a rat race. So are we interested in that rat race? Who will guide us? We have to create a balance between mind and our heart. What is important in life is prioritize that, and then spend some good time with yourself. Only then you will find inner answers. What is right for you and what is not right for you. And then try to attain a path which will guide you to reach to the goal of attaining peace. Attaining peace meaning you have to attain peace first within yourself. Because if you will be in that greed race, right? Okay, I have to get this, now next this, now next this. It's a never ending process. You have to halt at some point and do self reflection. After that, you have to decide, okay, should I go for the next thing or come back? Because sometimes at some positions you have to take a u-turn because you may not be following the right path. So for that, you need to attain the level of peace to take hard decisions in your mind. You should not always think what other people will say about you or what other people they think about you. Never ever follow that path, because in that situation you would not be able to give your 100% best. It has been scientifically proven that each and every brain is unique. So you have to find uniqueness in yourself and you have to design that unique path. You don't have to follow others. You can take examples of role models, but you have to follow your path. How you will follow your path? When you will be in a position to create and design that path. So that is the supreme thing which every individual has to do in their life, creation of a path for themselves. You will be only be able to do that when you are at peace and you are not in that rat race. Very well said, Aradhya. I really appreciate your point.
Yes, this is what it means, Rashmi, that initiative and introspection, both are the requisites, isn't it?
That's true. That's true.
Yes.
Self-reflection before you react.
Self-reflection is
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Yes, anybody else on the same subject?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, Jasmine. First, let Jasmine speak. Then Karthik, you, right? Yes, Jasmine.
Right, thank you, ma'am. Coming on to this topic of social conformity that Rashmi ma'am just mentioned, that we should not be in that rat race, we should not be following the conventional norms put forth by the society, and we should find an inner reflection and inner peace, which is essential for for the well-being of our minds and our bodies. Coming on to this point, I believe that expression of emotions in a regulated, decent, yet bringing forth the conflicts that our mind is ridden with is essential for attaining peace. People usually tend to put away all these negative thoughts and sidetrack onto the path of life that they need to attain. They tend to neglect these emotions that are piling up and these stress busters that are piling up. They're coping in such a negative manner to these life events that they neglect all these negative issues that are piling up so and forth, and ultimately it leads to an outburst which is not healthy. So dealing with such situations when they arise, confronting them and looking into the mirror and facing yourself and telling yourself, right, this is how I feel and this is how I'll deal with it. Basically finding out a constructive solution to all the daily hassles that we face is essential. So communication and free expression of emotions, not adhering to societal norms and conforming to society's set out path, is also essential, I believe, in attaining peace. Thank you.
Yes, Karthik.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, as Sukanya said that the peace comes to us naturally while violence comes unnaturally, which I mean, this means that if you picturize the perfect society, then you know, every person who is living in that society would be peaceful. They would have a peaceful mind. They would be peaceful with each other, with themselves. That's where self inspection and you know, personal reflection comes a lot into play. What I think is, if you know, if we do not follow the path of peace, then you know, things do not go right. The main the atmosphere gets ruined, it gets disturbed, and nobody wants to live in this sort of a world where nothing is going right, everything is just filled with negativity, and I mean it does not radiate a good vibe, and that's something that nobody wants. Everybody wants to be happy. Even those people who are indulging in these sorts of wars, they also to most of an extent want peace only, even if not for others, then at least for themselves. I mean, peace should be global. Peace should be amongst everyone. But if you start with yourself, then I think you can, as I said before, this internal quality, that this peace, this becomes external later on, and that sort of a society is one in which everybody would like to live. And I mean, it sounds good on paper as well. So I think if we actually want to live in that sort of a society, when everyone is happy, everyone is peaceful, everyone is able to coexist with each other harmoniously and carefreely, then I think we should take this initiative and being peaceful ourselves, so that everyone else does, and we are actually able to achieve this idea of this ideal society. Thank you.
Yes, Karthik, as you talked about coexistence, that I remember I mostly tell everyone that for small things in our life, if we give a little support to each other, life becomes so easy and so beautiful. I swear I've experienced myself that there would never be any problems in our life. I wonder the people don't understand, but anyway, we will continue with an effort to convey to the people, right? Because our ultimate goal is peace. Yes. Anybody else? Would you like to say anything else? Should we come to the next? Okay.
Ma'am, should I speak?
Yes, definitely.
Ma'am, basic idea of importance of peace has been conveyed by all of the participants in the meet. What I have observed in this pandemic is that the hatred or the arrogance we had is basically because of the people we are around. And this pandemic, talking about particularly this pandemic, we all have been cut off from all of the group. We have time with ourselves. uh, from my personal experience, I have signed more petitions than my whole life in just these 6 months, because now I understand how much pain people are suffering in the world. From the news channels propagating that every problem is just ending into some religious issues, to now that the poor are being harmed, we have to work for it, we have raised this much money for them. So this pandemic has played a big role in bringing out peace within ourselves. People are at home now. No one is superior to us. We all have been affected in one or the another manner. Maybe I am at home. Studying is hard for me, I guess, because yeah, in earlier days I used to come to school. I used to also spend times in extracurricular activities, but now they are less. Uh, so I have to cope with it, and I guess that's why peace is important.
Yes. Definitely, pandemic has brought changes in life. I have also observed that the people, somehow I feel that the people outlook towards life seems to be changed. For how long, I don't know. But right now, the thing is that yes, their perspective is definitely changed. Yes, anybody else? Okay, now let's go to the next. We talked about, it was really great to know about your perception about peace and the idea about the peace. And somehow I feel that you all support that the peace is really something relevant to talk about. It has always been, it is, and it will always be relevant, right? Now the question that poses ultimate, like you people only talked about responsibility, pieces are responsibility, pieces are duty, right? So in that case, what do you think we can do? What actions we have to take? Because I also believe that humans, they have the capacity, they have the potential to unify the world. Honestly speaking, whenever I use or I hear the word unify children, you know, that what I think, first of all, I think of two Germanys, East Germany and West Germany. The people of two Germanys, they had broken the wall, they had felled the Berlin Wall, and they had unified two countries. So this happened in 20th, 21st century, 20th century only, isn't it? I think it happened in 20th century or 21st century, right? Whenever, but it's not too late. It's not too late. So when two countries can be unified by the people, why can't we have peace? So what do you think actions, what do you think we can do at our level so that we make peace a reality and there is a complete peaceful environment? Yes. Who would start this discussion?
I am really keen to start with the ideas and what steps we have to take. Can I begin?
Yes, Vijayta, start.
Thank you so much. So, taking a leaf out of everyone's book, I would too like to acknowledge that there are two types of peace, that is internal as well as external. And for making both of them a reality, there is a kind of similar step. And that step is to identify the similarities and dissimilarities. I would like to explain. And basically, we have to realize that struggles and conflicts of life, which are making us be worried, which are not letting us be in peace with our own selves, they are similar to everybody. Everybody is suffering through struggles, which is why we don't have to worry because of them. We don't have to consume our energy over that struggle. We don't have to lose our cool. We don't have to lose our peace. And secondly, if you feel that struggles are different, then you have to realize that your capabilities too are this similar, which is why you're being trained for the better. So I think that is what can bring internal peace, that realization of similarity and dissimilarity. Talking about external peace, we first of all have to realize this is very basic. Everybody knows this. We humans are all similar on the internal, and that is the first similarity we have to realize. If you feel that groupism, religions, communities are making you different, then we surely have to realize that this is not something that can differentiate you from the rest of the world. There is a difference, a dissimilarity between religiosity and righteousness. If I am able to convey myself well, I would like to take the help of Hindi words dharam and mazhab. There is a difference between them. Mazhab, if it is somehow dividing you, then we have to realize that it is just a way to understand and to work for the righteousness, that is dharam, towards humanity. The humanitarian religion is biggest, it is the biggest responsibility, and that is what makes you different from the notion of religion which is dividing you anyhow. That is the realization of dissimilarity that I'm talking about. And once you realize that religiosity is not bigger than righteousness is the foremost, humanitarian behavior is the foremost, peace would obviously be there.
Right, Vijayta, I fully agree with you. Being human, I'm not talking about Salman Khan's NGO. Okay, I mean being humanitarian, of course, right? That is the way to attain peace.
It was too elaborate. I'm sorry for that, but I hope I was able to convey.
See, this is a platform where you are free to express yourself, right? Yes, next. Who? Yes, Jasmine?
I'd like to add on to Vijayta's point. I really felt that, yes, inculcating the values of being a human before being a man or a woman, before being a Hindu or a Muslim or a Sikh or a Christian, before being a black person, a brown person, or a white person, that is essential. adding to this point, I believe that people have a sense of, people do not feel a sense of belongingness a lot of the times. People think that they do not belong to the group that is propagating whatever norms that are socially acceptable. That is why they tend to feel alienated and they feel that they are different. And this feeling of difference and alienation is what leads to groupism and formation of different sects and societies, and a lot of conflict arises because of this feeling of difference. But I believe that unification and having a common sense, a common notion that we all are together despite all odds, we all are united, and we all are similar in one way or the other. Maybe I'll give you a random example. Maybe I may be struggling with certain issues, and a person who's of the opposite sex, of different religion, belonging to a different community, as a student, they'll have similar struggles. Similarly, people need to acknowledge that we as global citizens have similarities, and these similarities outpower and outnumber the differences that exist in the society. And personally, I believe that differences were not created by God. Differences like those of culture, differences of religion, differences of the social status that is attached to sexes and races. This societal norm that we've established, that it is the white man's burden to civilize the others. History is the eyewitness of all these struggles, people feeling superior and basically inflicting their superiority onto others. These differences have been created by man, and it is man who can change these differences. Definitely, biology plays a role, but the social status that has been attached, that leads to these differences, and that is what creates a sense of disharmony in between us and further leads to a state of violence and definitely does not lead to peace. Thank you.
Definitely. Very true, Jasmine. These are the man-made differences, man-made discrimination. We know that we are all the creations of the same God, irrespective of our caste and religion or whatever it is. But the young generation, if you all believe that we are the humans first, I don't think there would be any difference. I don't think there would be any conflict of any kind. And this is very important. Yes, of course, it is very difficult for you to accept because there are so many factors around you which are dominating you. But you need to be very strong to accept yourself as humans only. Then it is possible that we can think of eliminating all the conflicts. Yes, next.
Can I?
Yes, Aditya.
Ma'am, I think in our daily lives, the question that we really face is not that what is right and what is wrong. The real question that we face is that do we have the guts to do what is right? Everyone know that what is right, what is wrong. Like, for example, I have to take, does a smoker not know that he will die on smoking? But he doesn't have the guts to stop that. So I think every human being knows that peace is good for everyone, but often our unessential needs and our hunger for supremacy often stops us from doing what is right. So I think the moment humans will realize that peace is the common need of all mankind, he will be able to do what is right for promoting peace. And I would also like to give an example from my a poem which we have been reading this year, No Men Are Fallen by James Kirkup. In that poem, the poet beautifully explains that how all humans have the same needs. They also need water, they also need food. So if the needs are same, that why aren't the people? This is the biggest and the most obvious contradiction that we face in our daily lives. It is so obvious. It is so obvious, yet millions don't understand, and that's what leads to inequalities. So I think that in order to promote peace, we first have to understand what is peace, and we first have to realize that how much peace is important more than any worldly pleasure in this world. Thank you, that's all.
Right. Aditya, what you said that we have to make ourselves understand it. Yes, definitely. That is possible when we are able to check our emotions, right? We have to overcome our emotions, then only we can realize that yes, we have to do something. Despite knowing, otherwise, despite knowing what is right and wrong, we won't be able to do anything. Well said. Yes. Anybody else? Yes,
Can I say
Sukanya?
something?
Yes, Sukanya first.
Thank you so much. So, as Rashmi ma'am elaborated what Aradhya said about this readiness that we have to inculcate in ourselves, what I feel is that to do this, before doing this, a person has to have this quality or make his soul, his mind understand this quality to listen others. It is a very underrated skill. We all know that. I mean, even if we just think about it, how can listening help? But it can actually make a very huge positive contribution in the way we think, in the way we act, and in the way we talk. So uh, first of all that. Second of all, this P, it's a 5 letter small word. Another small word that I would like to associate right now is the word smile. Smiling makes a lot of difference, and it is a very small movement. You just have to look at a person and smile, but to the other person, it can have a major, a huge impact, and can improve a mood, can uplift the mood. And research has also shown that smiling improves so much, and our mind calms itself. Then the second, what I would like to point is this outburst, or that Jasmine Didi pointed, that we sometimes feel, and it is not good. We all know, but that will happen. But for that, you have to take little steps, tiny baby steps, to spread this message, or to talk to people, to know what it's like to be in their shoes. If you feel so, you should take a step to talk to that person. I always felt that I want to be this perfect girl, and I want to be happy. I want to spread this message of happiness and peace in various people, but it is very difficult. And I am taking steps, like whenever I look at someone, be it a small child or an old person, I try to smile at them, or just bow down to my elders. And because I feel that that in any way these small steps can make a huge difference. The last thing rather that I would like to point, can which can have a huge difference, is to be a helping hand of others. You the the door is always closed. You have to open the door for the other person, and you have to let them in, or you have to go inside to that person and make him or her understand what you're trying to say. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Rashmi, it seems to be a learning process for us.
Yes.
Isn't it? We are learning from these children.
Sukanya, you have nailed it.
Wonderful.
Actually, by giving final thing of meaning of actual what is a peaceful life, and
Right.
how a person can attain it. And what we would be doing is, we can do one exercise. Can we write down A to Z of life for attaining peace? Can we think of something? These 26 alphabets, letters, they have a relevant meaning in our life. Like I told you, like we followed, you are now connected with a language teacher and a maths teacher. So I shared with you about rule of integers in life, applying that for having a peaceful life. So it can be A to Z skills, Anita ma'am, like what we should have in our life for attaining the peaceful life. So some words which I took from each one of you, because you all are amazing, because beautiful people, beautiful thoughts, and the best thing is energy, enthusiasm, and the passion. And the passion is connecting with each other, sharing your thoughts, sharing the ideas. That's the beginning, and this is a never ending journey. And dear students, throughout your life you will be finding people, and that you will be finding two different type of peoples. One who would be matching with your frequency of life, and mathematically, if you I would like to interpret that, they will be in the same plane in which you are there. But there will be some people who would challenge you in your life and who will give you a thought provoking question in your mind, and who will create a sense, some sort of dilemma also, like you have to choose the right thing at that particular time by looking at the challenges which will be thrown on you from the person who are not matching to you, matching with your frequencies, because those people will also be helping you to evolve as a better human being. You have to stay connected with yourself. That is a big challenge, because each one of you has beautiful thoughts, beautiful ideas, but your
Yes.
actions in life will be giving you direction in your life. God bless you all. I am really so glad today to hear each one of you that you are now ready to contribute to the society. I'm so happy as a teacher.
Yes. Anybody else would like to
Ma'am,
say something?
can
We have 10 minutes. Yes. Yes, Ankit.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, as Jasmine Didi said that these differences that are faced by us in the society, these differences are not created by the God, but we, the human. It is created by us, the human beings. So, and even in the society, some people consider it to be the priority. They keep everything aside and they just focus on the social differences. But in my opinion, just inculcating a feeling of universal brotherhood and Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, that is considering the whole world as a family, is sufficient for spreading peace all over the world. And I would also like to quote James Kirkup here. I have read his poem "No Men Are Foreign." In that poem, he beautifully stresses on how people are connected to each other. Besides all, beneath all the uniforms, or keeping everything aside, keeping all the social differences aside, all of us are human beings, and that is what is to be thought by everyone before discussing about social differences. Even if you consider the religions, no religion teaches us to segregate people on the basis of other religion. Does Bible uh, teaches us that Sikhs are different from us, or even the Quran does not teach us that Hindus are different from the Muslims. So I just want to say that we should condemn the negative traits of rivalry and hatred. And if we indulge in any activity that includes these negative traits, we shall dispossess and betray all of us. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely right, Ankit. Yes. Anybody else, children?
Ma'am, can I speak?
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Samriddhi. Siddharth, you also
Ma'am,
want to say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, after Samriddhi, Siddharth. Right, Samriddhi? Start, please.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think that we should always keep our heart positive. We should not come in the words of those people who would tell us the flaws of other people just to create hatred inside us for some other people, for some other person. And we should always respect the sentiments and feelings of every person. We should never consider any person subordinate to us, and we should think that what the action we are doing, is that right or not right, because maybe it is not liked by the other person. Maybe he is not happy with the treatment we are giving to that person. So I think we should act according to ourselves, and not according to anyone who would tell us about how to do any action. Maybe it would be against the laws of against the laws of peace.
We need to have confidence on ourselves, and we should not allow ourselves to be influenced by others. Right, Samriddhi? Fine. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Siddharth?
For inner peace, what I think is we can do meditation, of course, and we should think more, speak less, which is very old saying, but it's still prevalent. If you speak more and observe less, listen less, you would just bound yourself to just a piece of information you read at some point of the life. And if you listen to all of the other people, like I prefer speaking after some speakers in this conference because I learn from them. Each point makes me think wider as a person, and obviously there would be differences amongst us, and it is very good to have differences, because what will be a life to listen to just English songs or just Hindi songs, read about just Mughal Empire, and just bind ourselves to that life? I guess I information will be just limited, and it would be of no fun. And apart from that, what we have lost is that we have lost the idea of being nuanced. We have to be uh, either people expect us either to be at the white side of the conference or to be the black side of the conference. But what people don't understand is that if I think that a person A and person B both are wrong, people don't understand my perspective. They want me to either accuse the person A of doing all wrong or B of doing all wrong, which is also bad. And we have lost the phenomena of giving a benefit of doubt. If we say that, if we think that a person is wrong, that stays for our mind, and that solidifies in our memory. We don't even try to rethink about it. And in my last few years also, as I have been active on social media, I didn't used to usually comment on Muslim activists who did good work. And I now think that it was so foolish of me to not appreciate good work, because I was so bound to just appreciating work from my own community, from my own group of people I like. So now I have thought on a bigger perspective. So I think that it's better to think on a bigger perspective. And at last, it always takes guts to bring out peace. We have always been expecting from a group of people, from a religion to propagate. Rather, we should on our own propagate something. So I would like to give an example of a Tibetan group. It was a group of 8 people, all teenagers. They provided sanitation, provided clean water, provided better homes to a whole slum. That I don't think a whole committee of adults would also think of that, but just 8 teenagers who had no resources, no background, they are thought of nothing, no backup, no source, but they just wanted to do it, and the fact that they had the will to do it, they possibly pulled it off, and also pulled it perfectly. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm happy to know, Siddharth, that you had a perception about one particular community and you changed your perception, because this is what children, anyway, he has given a very good example of himself. This is what is the change needed. We have not to look at who the person is or who the community is. We have to look at the actions done by one. That hardly matters to me. One is Muslim or one is Hindu or one is what? Isn't it? To me, they are all Indians. They are all fellow beings. They are all humans. In a class of 50 students, 40 students, whatever the number, do we try to identify who he is? No, we don't. When you also sit in the class, you will never choose the seat according to the one who is sitting next to you, whether he is Hindu or he is Muslim or not. No, not. So this is what is needed. Let us look at each other as human beings, the same human beings, the fellow beings. Let us forget there are many who think this. And in fact, those who are thinking this way, we have to change them also. Then there can be definitely peace. Well done, Siddharth. Yes, anybody else?
Can I?
Yes, yes, please.
So I was so indulgent listening to all of them, I forgot to speak myself. Okay, so what I think is that humanity, first of all, yes, humanity is the foremost ground of peace. But the a bitter reality is that in today's time, we have forgotten how to be humans. For instance, if you have done bad to someone and you realize your mistake afterwards, you feel that if I apologize or if I say sorry, it will make me someone less. But in fact, it will make you more of a person. These beliefs we need to inculcate in our minds. And secondly, why to make peace only with humans? What about other living organisms? What good would it do to you if you burn the forest of all the wild animals? What about their homes? Let's be empathetic on that side of the world also. And the internal peace. Meditation is required, yes, and all the thoughts shared by my fellow friends. And one thing I would like to add is we indulge in a lot of overthinking, right? We keep on thinking, how can I do this? How can I do that? When we know we can't control the outcome of the situation, we still keep on indulging in the processes required. We know that we are suppressing our emotions, but we don't take up a diary to write on it. How are we feeling? To understand ourselves. We are so busy. Me myself, I used to write diary every day, but from before the lockdown, I stopped writing it because I was so busy in my homework all the time. Just when the lockdown began and the things got a bit normal, like it is now, when people are not really realizing the importance of Corona and lockdown, at this time I felt it a bit normalized. So then I started writing diary. I can see the change in myself. So what I know is that we know the measures. We know everything what is to be needed. We still don't indulge in it. Let's change our attitudes. That's all.
Oh, yes, Lara, what you said earlier, it really reminds me of Albert Schweitzer. What he had said, unless we, the humans, extend our circle of compassion to include all non-living things, got it? All non-living things, we cannot think of peace. When we talk about peace, we talk about peace among us only. But we forget that there are non-living things also. There is another life also that is a part of us. And we have to think of getting peace through them as well. Just as for example, if we are killing animals, if we are cutting forests, anyway, Lara has already pointed out, right? Yes, good. Yes, Aradhya, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, now this is the last speaker, right, children? Okay. Yes.
I actually wanted to quote Nelson Mandela here. The best weapon is to sit down and talk. Peace is something that cannot be achieved through violence. It is something that can only be attained through understanding each other, understanding the differences, and celebrating the differences together. Peace is a very fickle thing, almost like a candlelight. It's very fickle, and it can be brought back immediately, but it can be also lost immediately. So there was this incident I read about. I'm not sure if it's true or not. Like every other individual, when they are small, we are given we giving the like age old question, what do you want to be when you grow up? So Benjamin Franklin was given the same assignment when he was in his teens or when he was in his preteens. So when what do you be when you grow up? All his fellow mates wrote astronaut or president of America or princess. So, but he wrote just one word in the whole 100-page assignment. He just wrote one word: content. When the teachers called him and told him that that this is not correct and maybe you didn't understand the assignment, he told them that you don't understand life. You have to be content. You have to be at peace with yourself. You have to be at peace with others for attaining peace. Yes, we can attain internal peace by yoga, meditation, and stuff. But the one of the main sources is to talk and to understand the problems with each other. Differences are beautiful. They are not something to be very ashamed of. If you are different, you're unique, you're beautiful. So celebrating those differences, celebrating those things that make you unique, that's the real meaning of peace. celebrating it and harmonizing it. Thank you.
Yes, I'm happy to see that how you people are giving references from your textbooks, right? So look at this, children. Literature brings you closer to the real life. Isn't it? What you read in literature is actually the clear reflection of what you experience in your life. Yes, Rashmi ma'am, would you like to say something?
Like you said, literature is helping us in our life. Similarly, mathematics also helps in, giving us energy and enthusiasm for creating a balanced equation. Equation sometimes will be a linear equation, sometimes it is a quadratic equation, sometimes you get a biquadratic equation, or it can be of any order. So you have to acquire the skill of solving that equation by, your thinking, your positive attitude and mindset, and by using your guts. Like I got some good insights from each one of you today, and I really appreciate. And please, on behalf of Kolachi Hansraj Model School, express heartfelt thanks to your parents also, because first school is from family. It begins at in the family. They have given you the right atmosphere. They have given you the right opportunity. Because of the value system, you are able to connect with the right people and make right choices. Teachers are guiding you, no doubt in it. School is giving you ample opportunities and to do lots and lots of experiments. But the the value system starts building from home. So thank you to your parents, your family culture, which has helped you in evolving you to the stage whatever you are at present. And I am 100% sure that each one of you will be at some or the other place, will be doing remarkable work in the society and keeping the name of Kolachi Hansraj Model School in some of the pedestal, and you will be remembering your teachers, your friends, that in a unique way you have acquired those skill set, isn't it? That's amazing. God bless to all of you. And in the end, I would like to thank our school principal, Mrs. Sneh Verma, because she has given us flexibility and freedom to the teachers to take up certain projects which are need of the hour. These things are beyond textbooks. You will not find these kinds of reflections in any of the book, that you have to conduct such a talk at this particular time with in this particular subject, or there will be some remedial plan of action, or there will be some assessment, formative or summative, or there will be some kind of examination. No, 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 no. All these things are done because there is a vision, and that vision is the school leadership. The school leadership has given us flexibility and freedom, because as a teacher like Anita and myself and many other teachers in our school, they are doing different work. The reason being, the school principal is supporting us. Okay, so thank you to each one of you, your parents and the community members who would be listening to your thoughts, because we will be uploading this video on YouTube, and you can because we believe in sharing good stuff. You never know whose thought or whose word, simple single word, can change the life of people, right? Thank you so much, Anita, for the opportunity to
thank you so much
to these wonderful children. Thank you.
All my children, they were awesome. And in fact, Rashmi, I gave them these particular aspects we had to discuss yesterday only. As usual, all these students, they know that we never tell them to prepare their speeches and all. And they have already performed so well and exhibited their natural inborn talent to express themselves.
Wonderful.
And yes, And the piece we thought, I think when such ideas you have, because this is what naturally it had come out of you. That is what I could see, isn't it? So I'm very much sure, I'm confident that you people are definitely going to give your bit. You are going to give a lot to the society. Yes, and if we are able to raise more such students, definitely society would be a great place to live. Thank you very much. Thanks to your parents, right? And thanks to you that you had been here and spent so much time and expressed yourself so honestly and so fairly and sincerely. Thank you very much, children. And thank you, Rashmi, for your motivation all the time. Yes.
It's a pleasure. Bye bye. Take care.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, children.
Thank you, ma'am.